Welcome to Nerd Positive. This is a
Yes,
Facebook
sir.
and YouTube live podcast show that celebrates
Yes, sir.
all the things that we feel are awesome and
Yes,
hopes of
sir.
spreading our fandom to you. After the live show airs, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere you find audio podcasts. A little later in the show, we dive deep into the hearts of fandoms and celebrate the things we love. From sci-fi to fantasy, movies to TV shows, comics to video games, we explore the universes that have captured our imaginations and made us lifelong fans. Each week, we'll take you on a journey through the realms of awesomeness.
Yes, sir.
Expect passionate discussions, in-depth analyses, things under the bed, and many, many side quests. So whether you're die-hard yippee-ki-yay motherfucker enthusiast or just dipping your toes in the fandom waters, the fandemic. We're not fandemic anymore. The nerd
Dude,
positive is the
there
place
we
to
go.
be.
There we go, bro.
That's right. That's right.
Remember, where's your heart? Where's your heart?
Right. We are nerd positive. I'm the host of self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Buchanan. With me every week, I have the unverified twin of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the eyebrows, the unverified twin of Dave Batista in the head wrinkles, the unverified twin of Carl Weathers in the mustache,
The flavor
And-
saver.
Lava Sava, and the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples.
Yes, sir. My name is Brian S. Stands with this, with the S stands for USA, because we're going to talk about things that make us proud, not to be Americans, but proud to come from Merica.
America.
America.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, man. Like,
Damn right. Woo!
dude. I was thinking about on my list today, and I was like, man, I had to think about it. I had my top 3 like right away.
Yeah,
When
Same,
as it
same,
went
same.
along. Yeah, awesome. So, well, that's what we're talking about. Before that, we got to talk about our favorites of the week.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I'll start off today. It's
Hit it, my friend.
House of the Dragon, man.
Mm,
So I had Anna this last week,
okay.
and between my wife, Kaylee, I love you, Anna and Leia, I love you, but they were watching nothing but Hallmark rom-coms and America's Next Top Model.
Wait. Bradley, it's not your fault.
Thanks.
It's not your fault.
Thank
It's
you.
not your fault. Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. I needed that.
Yes, sir.
Whew. Yeah. So my TV watching was very, very much cut short this week, but I did watch Acolyte. It's getting a little better.
Okay, here's
Not
what
much.
Acolyte has done. It's made the most simple. This past week's episode did do one thing for Acolyte. It actually made me determine who is my favorite and most empathetic character in the show, and it's the Sith Lord.
Yeah, I know.
He is the most likable person. If you know what, at this point, I really hope Osha becomes his acolyte, like, because he had a point.
Yeah.
We're being invaded. We have a cameo about it. Is that a Hanson shirt?
It's my nephew's. It's Hanson Racing.
I figured not Umbop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You wanna say hi to Brian?
Sure.
Tell him about America's Next Top Model.
I've been watching America's Next Top Model with Anna. Although there is something I want to say first.
Say first.
Right before I came down here,
Okay.
I was asking Miss Mother, and I told her, should I
Miss
be
Mother.
nice? Yeah, should I be nice and not eat a pickle in front of him while I'm down here?
And what did she say?
And she said, yes, be nice. So you can thank mommy for that.
Oh, awesome.
Mhm.
All right. Well, tell
Always
Brian
be
to
nice
that.
to your dad, though.
Happy 4th.
Oh.
Oh.
That
Okay,
was
you're not
good.
gonna-
That was good. All right,
You-
princess.
yeah.
Happy 4th and bye
All
bye.
right.
Bye. I love you.
Love you too, sweetie. Woo! All right.
The eye poke thing, yeah.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Some people can straight up do it. I can watch now. I can look at it no problem. When I was a kid, that used to give me like the heebie-jeebie. Like she just did it again right behind you. Like I would like literally have to go like hide underneath the bed. And by the way, speaking of things, no, okay, but by the way, I made a mistake of hiding underneath my parents' bed one time, and I hit this box and it started buzzing and chasing me. Before I never knew, I didn't know what Rumba was. It was basically that same thing. Like my cat sat on it. It was just weird. It was a weird night. But yeah, the Acolyte totally makes me empathize with the Sith Lord. Like the Jedi, I don't know if I don't think it's the point. The
No.
more the series goes into it, the less likely the entirety of the Jedi. The only thing that happened, spoiler alert, the only thing that happened this week that was their sole redeeming thing is that Saul knew that he didn't have Osha with him. He had May. But I'm like, if he goes this entire episode and doesn't figure out that he has the wrong twin, I'm done. Because it just made me like a total idiot. Like, first off, one has a scar or whatever you want to call it, brand on her forehead, and just like they've been apart for like over a decade. Like there should be things that she just would stumble over, right? And if you're you're supposed to be one with the Force and have all these things, so you can be fooled by a woman just cutting her braids a little shorter. I'd have been done. I'd have been totally done. So, all right. Anyway, so now I'm just all in on Acolyte, and I'm totally Team Sith. Like, I don't know what the plan is for the remaining 3 episodes or
Two.
So the story has not advanced in 8 episodes.
Well, and here's the thing:
6 episodes. It is not advanced at all.
You're right. Which the thing that it proves is that the entire show should have been about the Sith.
Absolutely,
because Manny Jacinto, who plays the Stranger or Quamir or whatever, he's freaking great.
By the way, is this the Bad Place then?
Yeah, he's the guy from The Good Place.
I know. I was saying though, is he in the Bad Place then?
Yeah. Oh, I got you.
Yeah. I love him because normally when you see Manny, he's played like a lot of very kind of goofy off the wall. He had a couple. I think he had a guest spot on The Good Doctor right after The Good Place ended. Those things, but to see him as the Stranger is just fantastic. He definitely is devil. And again, he's every time he talked about his motivations and all the things, like he's got a point. I remember when I went and saw Endgame, and we were coming out of Endgame, and my son said both after Endgame and Joker, he goes, they're not wrong. Like the villains, maybe you can go, okay, their methods, but their motivation, he goes, they're not wrong.
Right.
So I'm rooting totally for the antagonist here. I'm totally rooting for the antagonist. They're not giving me a reason to root for the protagonist.
Right. And it just goes back to prove this is what the show should have been about. It should have been about the Sith, because I tell you what, Leslie Headland, she had the chance of a lifetime to tell the story of the Sith. Right. And she did not fulfill it. Maybe that's on Disney, maybe that's on her, maybe that's not the story that she wanted to tell, but it's a story that we all want. But anyway, that's my TV movie.
Okay.
Is Money in the Bank. We're gonna call it that.
We're doing that. Yep. So for me, similarly, I am about I got about halfway through the most recent episode of The Boys. I'll check it out probably the rest tomorrow. I already gave my feedback on Acolyte. Supercell, if you've not had a chance to jump into it, it does not disappoint. It builds so well over 6 episodes. So unlike most shows on Disney that are 8, most shows on Netflix which are 10, this only had 6 episodes, and it totally, I mean, it's almost like Heroes with the way that the story is layers upon layers, and so many people are so excited for season 2. Ratman, who is both the writer, creator, and director of most of the episodes, he stated that the story arc he's telling in Supercell actually is meant to span 3 seasons. Was going to decide that would be what would be the viewership and the pop of the show. The show is gaining. It already is very popular, and it seems to be gaining steam. So I hope this movie will definitely get a season 2 and hopefully a season 3 of Supercell. So have you had a chance to start it yet?
I have not.
Okay.
That will be coming up soon because
Yep.
not only you but like everybody is telling me to watch Supercell,
It is so
and
good.
yeah.
It is so
Now,
good.
is it? Is there good drama in it as well? Is this something that I?
Absolutely.
Okay, so can I watch it with Leia?
You there are a couple scenes revolving how people make people that you might want to be a little
Okay.
like, and I think it's like in like the first episode, maybe like the fifth. Other than that, yeah, I mean the violence is even the violence
Yeah.
isn't anything much more than what you see in a Marvel. There's some language, but no, I think she
Yeah.
could, and there definitely is good drama. And again, it plays a lot of honestly from, and this is me wearing shoes that are not mine. I think because one of the five core cast members, Sabrina, they talk a lot about this. What it in her and her sister, they do a good job of juxtaposing what it is to be a young woman
Mhm.
and your expectation of what is actually even a good relationship.
Oh,
So
good.
that is even good, like,
Yeah.
to learn those things. And I think it's just great. That again, the only thing that your ear gets a little used to is because it's on the West End, this is in
Mhm.
Britain, that West End Londoner slang, which is great. It's beautiful. But
Mhm.
every now and then you'll just like, what are they talking about? And then with context, so I'll give you a hint. When they say yard, that means where they live. So
Okay.
like, oh, I got to go to my yard. That means their apartment. So that's one of the big things they talk about, going to their yard. Like, okay, yard is an apartment. Okay. So, but I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic show. I think you definitely watch it with anyone. Leia's what, 12, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
12, 13 and up, I think is totally appropriate.
Cool. Yeah, because there's really not any big movies coming out next week. I mean, the
Right.
next big one is Twisters,
Right.
in 2 weeks, which I'll go to that. But cool. All right, man.
I
We
wonder,
got
does he need two belts then? Does he need two belts? Does he need Cody Rhodes' weight belt? Maybe that's what he needs.
that. Yes.
Or the final boss's belt, right? Yeah. I want Glenn to go, Mama Rhodes, and then be fine. All right. Okay. So let's hop into Money in the Bank, my friends. So those of you that are new to the podcast, Bradley and I are huge fans of wrestling, period, but especially of the WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment, for those of you that are uninitiated. So yesterday or last night, they held their Money in the Bank pay-per-view in Toronto, Canada. And again, just to bring everybody to speed, what Money in Bank is, that it's a ladder match. That means it's a match that has a ladder. And individuals who win, there's one match for male competitors, one match for female competitors. And if you win that ladder match, you get a briefcase that contains a contract that someone can cash in for a world title match at any point in time. They can join a match. They can just run out to the ring if the champion is there. The champion can have just finished a match. The champion doesn't have to be ready to wrestle. They can come in, and for most people, it's pretty much a guaranteed shot of a guaranteed becoming a champion. So we're gonna go through the pay-per-view, and let's just start with I think the most significant thing that came out of last night's pay-per-view that was non-wrestling, which was John Cena's announcement, my friend. So we have the John Cena farewell tour. So he's saying we're gonna see him for the last time. So, any thoughts on Cena's announcement? And his announcement was kind of there, kind of not. I know there was a press conference after that I did not watch, but he stated he's going to be at the Royal Rumble. He's gonna be, I think he said he's gonna be at Survivor Series, and he pointed out next year's WrestleMania will be his final WrestleMania. He did say that's gonna be his last match, but he did say that next year WrestleMania will be his final WrestleMania. Before I ask you your thoughts, remember that in the world of professional wrestling, does anyone actually stay retired? Terry Funk, RIP, retired multiple times. Ric Flair has retired multiple times. Jericho, Edge, even Stone Cold has came out of time for one match here and there. So I am curious your thoughts on. He says he's a man of his word. He really has not
Yeah.
been wrestling much the past several years. What do you think about Cena's farewell tour?
I think it's a great idea. I like the way that they're doing it. But let's be real. After WrestleMania, it's not going to be his final match. They're going to throw some in there when it makes sense. And that's what I took away. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do what makes sense
Right.
for, the WWE. It was
Yeah.
if
I'm
something
gonna do
comes
business.
around
Yeah.
and they phone me up and they,
Yep.
you know what? Hey, I got this idea,
Absolutely.
he's going to jump on it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Rock was
his
gone
money.
7 years and came back and wrestled a few matches. Like I said, Edge was gone for a neck injury
Jeez.
and came back. By the way, did you see a couple pay-per-views when he broke his leg jumping off the cage to do an elbow drop? And the guy was covered in Aleister Black. And winds up because he jumped off the cage and because the guy's covered in bar while he couldn't do a regular leg drop, elbow drop. So he landed on his feet and totally broke his own leg, which is
Ow.
Yeah, I'm sure Beth Phoenix was loving that. So let me get this straight. You took years off because the doctor said your neck is on a house of cards. You come back, you had a great run in the WWE, then you go to AEW where you're literally wrestling in barbed wire and you broke your own leg. Yes, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that you got to cope with that.
Nice. He might be pushing himself to the edge.
The edge.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. How did he not have you two do any type of theme music for him? It was right there. It was right there. You know what? And no matter what happens, remember, Bradley, you think you know him. All right, now we're gonna move forward. Okay. So let's get to the actual matches, sir.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's just go in the order that we had them. So we had the men's Money in the Bank, Drew McIntyre, Andrade, or as I call him, Mr. Charlotte Flair, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, the Wyatt Six, little whipping boy, the King of Yeet, Jey Uso, and the King of LA Knight. The match was won by Drew McIntyre. We'll talk about what happened after that. But number one, what are your thoughts on the match? Is that the right? I know we're gonna talk about what happened later, but in that match, do you think they went the right decision with Drew going over and winning the match?
I do. I do wish that it went to Jay or to LA Knight. Yeah. But I think with the importance that they're making between Drew, Punk, I think
CM Punk
they
versus
have to.
DM Hunk. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
So, yeah.
And by the way, I think everybody. I think, and when you have in these multi-person matches, even if you're not gonna win, what you want is everybody get a chance to kind of show what they can do. And I think the match was successful in that. You're right. I would have liked for it to have been either Jay or LA Knight if it wasn't gonna be Drew. And they will talk a little bit here in a moment about how they did that cash. Oh, let's jump back to Cena for one quick second. So, assuming that WrestleMania 25 is in Vegas, which would be WrestleMania 41. If that's his last WrestleMania, at least for the foreseeable future, who should Cena's final opponent be?
The Rock. No,
because it'll probably be Rock.
No.
I think we probably know what we're going to see out of The Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Right, it's gonna be The Rock and Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Jeez, that's a good question. I think they're gonna have to bring somebody else back. I can't.
What
really
about?
think of,
we talked before that we thought that maybe it'll be Orton and Cody at WrestleMania 41. What about Orton? I mean, he of a contemporary.
Ooh.
Of a contemporary, I mean, he's still there. And then my other thought immediately, unless he's involved in something else, what about Braun Breaker?
Ooh, that'd be a good match too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm down for either.
Yeah, I can see Braun breaking my boy in half and talking about you can't see him. And that'd be a great rub too for someone that's new. All right.
You know what? Actually, you know what's better?
Yeah.
R-Truth. R-Truth, John Cena, WrestleMania 41.
That would be awesome.
I mean, and
remember,
really
Cena is his
tag team.
Remember, even though Cena's older than, even though Truth is older than Cena, Cena was R-Truth's childhood hero. Just don't forget that. I think he's like 7 years older than Cena, but don't forget, John Cena was R-Truth's childhood. That is just, again, so here's what's going to happen. We know now they may even do it this year. My guess is either at 41 or 42, Cena's in the Hall of Fame.
Mhm.
I can't wait for them to put Archer just for that speech.
Mhm.
And you know who's going to induct him is Little Jimmy.
Oh yeah.
It just has to be Little Jimmy.
Mhm.
It just has to be Little Jimmy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So WWE
And Don and Nick will be in the crowd.
and Don and Nick, and of
Yeah.
course, DIY. By the way, congrats to DIY, new tag team champions.
Yes.
They'll be there because they'll be in the front row, and he'll be calling them Hunter and Sean. Okay, beautiful. All right. Next up, we have the Intercontinental title match. It was Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Sami Zayn was the first person on the main roster to pin Braun Breaker. Now, this one we disagreed on. I
Mhm.
was saying it's got to be Breaker. You had a sixth sense that Sami was going to retain. Hey, you know better than me. Sammy's retained. I'm honestly shocked.
You know what, man? Like, yeah, I think I don't think they're done pushing Sammy yet.
Okay. I think possibly they're moving this again. We've got SummerSlam coming up here next month. I get a feeling we might have a rematch. I think Braun Breaker, again, every time he hits the ropes, it's scary how fast that dude is. 23 miles an hour. And
who does Braun go after now? Who's on Braun's?
I think it'll be Sammy. I think he totally will. I think he'll show up tomorrow night, and I think he's gonna jump Sammy. I think they can do an angle where he loses his stuff, maybe puts his hands on some officials or the GM, and then maybe we write him off TV for a couple weeks to show like he's unhinged. But I think he does. I don't think he moves away from Sammy. I think he gets another match with Sammy. And I think at some point, I can't think of, other than Jey Uso, I can't think of another person that is ready or that Sammy should drop the Intercontinental title to. And I think just looking at how Sammy sells in matches and just how physically imposing Braun is. And I did see some things online because they kept mentioning that, Braun is a Steiner. And even, by the way, Steiner's not even a Steiner's real last name. But do they maybe repackage him as Braun Steiner? I kind of like Braun Breaker better than, but we may see that. But I was surprised. I'll give you your flowers, sir. You were right there. All right, next up. Then we had the world title match. It was Damian Priest, champion, defending against Seth freaking Rollins. This was a match that if Priest retained, Rollins could not challenge for the title.
Did he? But
well, hang on, we're getting there. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So that took over the internet probably still today. So there's a couple theories, but let's talk about the match itself. So it was a singles match. Damian Priest, if he retained the championship, Seth Rollins could not challenge him while Priest was champion. If Rollins wins the title, then Damian Priest would have to leave the Judgment Day. Well, it's a one-on-one match, really good back and forth match, until we see Seth Rollins hit a move that he usually does, which is a superplex into the Falcon Arrow, and then Damian Priest tried to count to the Broken Arrow. Seth wound up hitting it. Then we get 1, 2, and by the way, I can't remember the last time Seth Rollins won a match with the Falcon Arrow superplex combo, but then 1, 2, and what should have been 3, but the
4.
referee doesn't actually touch the mat, even though Braun not only did Damian Priest not get his shoulder up, he didn't move.
I know.
And you see everybody kind of stunned. The fans like, that's 3. The commentators going, maybe there's another. Hey, good job at the choreography. I rewatched that moment a few times. Choreography, maybe it was an angle I couldn't see. And I go, no, so then the theory that's come up has been either A, Priest didn't kick out when he was supposed to, either like I was texting you, maybe because the Falcon Arrow is a move you drop kind of on your shoulder blades, but your head does come really close to the mat. Could he have gotten like a stinger? Could he hit his head? Could he have been disoriented? Could he have? I've seen people go, maybe he just didn't hear to, and because he looked legitimately stunned, like, and you could see him mouthing something to Seth, like maybe I'm sorry or something. But then, because then the two guys have to pivot, but then what happens next is you hear McIntyre's music for him to come and potentially end the cash in the Money in the Bank. A lot of other theories have been what was supposed to happen was as the referee is getting ready to count 3, McIntyre's music was supposed to hit. That would have distracted Seth. Seth would actually let go of the pin, the referee, all the things. Either way, there was a botch, whether it was on Priest or music or the ref or something. But you're right. He didn't kick out. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
You just exposed it again that this is choreographed. But then you get Damian Priest. Then you get Drew McIntyre, DM Hunk joins the match, makes it a triple threat. Is dominant as he should have been. Is about to win, and then your boy, straight out of Chicago, CM Punk. Now that one I called. I told the Punk was going to show up.
Yep, you did.
Comes up and just waylays McIntyre with the chair.
Punk looks good.
Yes, he does. McIntyre gets back in the ring, takes a fall from heaven, choke slam. 1, 2, 3. Priest. By the way, Priest looks so pissed, right? Because he's got to, and you got to go in the back and all the things, and obviously the fans are going to eat this up. So a few things happen out of that. So number one, Rollins can't challenge for the title. I think it's a good time for Rollins maybe to take some additional time off. Becky's taking time off. Why not? He can take the time off. This definitely furthers the feud between Drew McIntyre and Punk. Now, this will be 3 times that CM Punk has cost Drew McIntyre the World Heavyweight Championship. Pardon me there. And then Priest is going to be going to SummerSlam defending against the King of the Ring, Gunther. So what are the botch, taking that aside?
Right.
What are your thoughts on the match, especially how Drew is treated?
You know what? They're building this Punk. They're Punk Drew. So I don't care. For the longest time, Drew McIntyre has been a crybaby, and they're giving him something to cry about now. So you know what, man? Like, you get what you sow. I don't feel bad for you.
Sure.
You know what? Like, he would have retained the title at WrestleMania had he not taunted Punk.
Right.
So you know what, dude? You get what you ask for. You wanted Punk. We're only going to get Punk in little
Punk.
things. And yes, and he is assassinating your character. He's driving you crazy. And now it's a Punk Seth, Drew.
Yeah.
So will it be a triple threat? Will it be all 3 of them going after each other?
Right.
I hope so.
What I hope this leads to is SummerSlam, honestly, and I hope it's a one-on-one because they built this so much. I hope we get Drew and Seth at Drew and Punk at SummerSlam, and I hope they give us a Hell in a Cell. I think this is one of those rivalries that they built it up to the point like this makes sense. We've seen the return of some blood.
Bad blood.
Bad blood is it's going to be in Atlanta doing in the dirty. I think that my only thing is I really wish I'm okay with I think it was a bit of a waste of a contract. I think I'd have been much happier if Punk would have interfered to keep McIntyre from just winning the briefcase, and then you have Jay or LA Knight or any of the other 5 competitors. They could have been used there, but this is furthering their feud. And I really hope, and I mean, WWE, if you're listening, and we know you are, I really hope what this means is sometime in 2025, Drew McIntyre gets a world title run, because I think he's earned it by the way he's jobbed himself multiple times, but he looks the part. He's got a lot more charisma going as a heel. They really gave him a depth of a story. Probably not in the cards between now and let's say next year's WrestleMania, but if somehow whoever comes out with the World Heavyweight title, I hope he gets a shot. Or when we look at the draft next year, move over to SmackDown and let him have a feud with Cody. I think that would be great. I think he's doing good work. All right. Then we get to the women's Money in the Bank match. I think the easiest way to look at this one is Tiffany Stratton wins over Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lara Valkyria, Naomi, and Zoe Stark. That without doubt is the right call. It is
Mhm.
truthfully Tiffy time. And I think this builds again with Nia Jax having a title match against Bailey at SummerSlam, and now her friend, or at least her running buddy, it also has the women's Money in the Bank match contract, and how that will look further in those. And then the main event, the bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga taking on Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. The bloodline wins as it should.
Mhm.
And dude, what a match. That was old school 6-man tag. We're going to just go at it. Everybody's going to get their shine. And Solo pins Cody after
In the
the
middle of the
Samoan.
ring.
Yep. And this totally has to setting up Cody against Solo again at SummerSlam, second biggest pay-per-view of the year for the championship. And then my question to you, sir, is do we see the return of the Pose tribal chief, the true tribal chief, the one that we all acknowledge, Roman Reigns? Do we see Roman Reigns at SummerSlam?
Yes. Yes. They've said his name too many times.
We want Roman. Yes.
Yep. And he's coming back as a babyface because I think he's better at it.
Yeah.
Because he's not great on the mic. He just,
Mm-hmm. And I think at this point he can have an edge, so he doesn't have to be a smiling, kissing baby face. Like Punk is a baby face. Punk, though,
yeah,
Stone Cold Steve Austin basically was a heel that people love because he was so good at kicking ass, right?
Yeah.
Punk, you say Brock Lesnar gets cheered. Rhea Ripley is a heel, but people love her because she's Rhea Bloody Ripley. By the way, when she comes back, if they don't add the blood to the middle of her name, kind of like they did with Rollins and the freaking, they've missed opportunity. Everybody calls her a Rhea Bloody Ripley. And by the way, I cannot wait for the match we will get between her and Liv, because yes, they've built that perfectly. Okay. So what are your thoughts overall on Money in the Bank? What was your favorite part of Money in the Bank?
My favorite part of Money in the Bank was the Bloodline match.
Yep. And this card only had 5 matches, so I think they really did a great job with only 5 matches.
Yeah. I would rank it at a solid 8 out of 10.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can go sign that one. And then your least favorite moment?
My least was the botch.
Yeah.
I mean, just
it
was so bad in the match that
there's nothing you could do to cover it. There was nothing that you do to cover it, right?
And the rest of, like, everything else besides that, you could feel the intensity of the show. I mean, these guys were going at it. It was more intense.
Yep.
From the beginning, you're like,
yes,
damn, this is not Raw. This is not SmackDown.
Right.
You can see the difference there, and that doesn't happen on every.
And Toronto's just a hot place. I mean, they always are really. I mean, this is where Hogan and Rock had their match, right? So, I mean, this is a great crowd, a great city. Definitely one of WWE's home bases. And that botch again, whether it was on the production staff, on Damian Priest, they number one, and you notice that it was a true botch because they didn't. I mean, you could find it really easy, but they have not replayed. They didn't replay at the end of the match. The counters move forward. They probably won't mention it at all tomorrow night on Raw. But it is one of those things. Damian Priest, I think, is a good champion. His reign, whether it ends with Gunther or goes longer than that, I mean, I think he's had a good run. But it is one of those things that it's just unfortunate that happened because there's nothing you can do to fix it. You just run with it, and DP, hey, we got your back. All right.
Yep.
So with that, sir, where do you want to go next? I'm sorry, there's still one from Cody Rhodes. So Brad, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Merica.
Woo!
Yeah. Woo! All right. So we're going to do our favorite movies that remind us of Merica, maybe in some way. Not all my movies are really Merica. I think a lot of them are. I was in the military, so
sir.
like a lot of that stuff, kind of hits you. But it was the 4th of July, born on the 4th of July. But you know, That movie didn't make my list, by the way.
Mine either. Mine either.
Yep. So, but I mean, like, at first I was like, this is really hard, until I got to thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, like, first couple I obviously knew, but
Okay.
dude, I'm excited to go over this.
All right.
I went first last week.
Okay. So I got my top 5, but I've also got 10 honorable mentions. And for folks, when we do our countdown, Brad and I do not discuss our list ahead of time. I will be keeping track. See if we have any that are that are just on both of our lists, whether honorable mention or our top 5. And if we have any in the same location, we'll definitely highlight that. So here we go. So my list very similar. Movies that made me just go Merica. Okay, that just made me feel like I thought, and some maybe for very serious reasons, some for tongue in cheek, but these are movies I just went, yep, that's America. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start off with a movie that actually I saw based on it streaming on Disney Plus. It is a movie based on a musical / play that, what can we say other than, young and scrappy, the room where it happens. I went with the theatrical version of Hamilton. Just love the music. I've seen it live. It's fantastic. It is a hip hop version of the founding of our nation. And if you're gonna talk about 4th of July, you got to talk a little bit about Hamilton. All right, next up, even though it's fictional, my favorite movie regarding a president, which is The American President, with Annette Bening and Michael Douglas. That end speech that he gives in The American President with Richard Dreyfuss saying he's going to be president. And he goes, I'm not running for president. I am the president of the United States. I think that was something good. And again, I was a huge fan of The West Wing. So it's one of those is one of with the dialogue, those things that really I think capture me. The next one I got, and Brad, I don't know if you ever seen this, but if you haven't, it's a great movie to watch. It's a movie starring our buddy, starring our buddy Severus Snape, aka Alan Rickman, and rapper Mos Def. It is Something the Lord Made. Have you ever heard or seen Something the Lord
I
Made?
have not. What is this?
So Something the Lord Made, it is a biographical movie, and it is about Vivian Thomas, who actually, pre-civil rights, actually pioneered the first open heart surgery. So you have an African-American man who honestly had not been allowed to go to medical school, who partnered with an actual cardiac surgeon, and they pioneered the first open heart surgery, and their techniques are still used to this day. So it talks a lot about the racial dynamic. It is a very inspiring film. So again, Mos Def, who is a rapper but is a fantastic actor, plays Vivian Thomas, and then Alan Rickman, who again most of us probably know as Professor Snape, R.I.P., plays a gentleman by the name of Alfred Blaylock, who was the actual medical doctor surgeon. It is a fantastic movie. It's a great one to watch. That was an HBO film, but it's fantastic. So I would suggest you look at something that's kind of, again, inspiring and is also a true story. Check out Something the Lord Made. Next up, Bradley, we have a problem. Apollo 13. Just great. Just absolute great film. I like the fact that Lieutenant Dan grew his legs back so they could go fly to space. Go fly, well, Lieutenant Dan didn't get to fly. He got to do the model bringing him back. But fantastic cast. I mentioned before, there's some parts in Apollo 13 that actually featured the women from Hidden Figures that they totally left out. But that being said, still great. And I think most of us still, if you say Houston, we have a problem, you hear Tom Hanks in your ear there. Now I got to take it a little lighter because, again, especially when I thought about, and this honestly, Brad, while it's not in my top 10 or top 5, when we talk about Merica and kind of the tongue-in-cheekness of it, and you hear like an eagle screeching, and you got the Hulk Hogan music and Uncle Sam with the 24-inch pythons, red, white, and blue is all over this. Horrible fake Southern accents. Nothing more American or Merica than a movie that takes a lot of pot shots and makes fun
Matt
of
Damon.
NASCAR. Talladega Nights, The Ballad
I
of
thought
Ricky
you,
Bobby.
I thought you were going to Team America there for a second.
It was close. Team America was close. But
Team America almost made my list too.
So I got to go to it. Just, I mean, come on now. You got Will Ferrell and John C. Riley. They're just fantastic. I mean, we mentioned them last week as one of my favorite duos with Step Brothers. I think they're even funnier in Talladega Nights. I think I don't know if I've ever said this on the podcast before. I really don't generally like Will Ferrell movies in the theater. Like, I've seen a lot of his movies in the theater, and I just don't. They don't ever strike me as funny. The minute they come to streaming or like HBO or something, I hated Land of the Lost. I went and saw Land of the Lost in the theater. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever. Now when it's on television, I gotta stop and watch it. I don't know what about it. It just hits different on the small screen to me.
So Will Ferrell is the voice of the villain in Despicable Me 4.
Yes.
He has a really bad French accent in it, Maximo. So just Despicable Me 4 is fine. It's okay.
So can we get Maximo versus Megamind?
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
All right. Next up, Forrest Gump. Again, this inspiring movie. If you've never read the book, just compare the book to the movie. They definitely made Forrest much more likable in the movie than they did in the book. But run, Forrest, run, which also proves this. If you are a gentleman who is just maybe a little different than everyone else, and you fall in love with a young woman and you pledge your love to her and you write her letters and you go to her college and she doesn't see you as a true man, the only thing that needs to happen for that love story to come true is for her to contract hepatitis and for you to become a millionaire.
I'm not a smart man, Jenny, but
I know what love is. Oh, God. But as much as I love that movie, part of me goes, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's when he's a flipping millionaire and you're dying of an STI. Now you're like, oh, yeah, Forrest, let's get married. Uh-huh. By the way, did Forrest get checked? Like, I'm curious a little bit about that.
I don't think she ever gave it back to him after they made the kid.
Yeah.
I think.
And also, did you notice first screen role for Haley Joel Osment?
Was it really?
He is Little Forrest. That's Haley Joel Osment.
What? Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. All right. I'll go to the next couple kind of quick. Love Glory. Glory's next on my list. Again, just tells about the foundational part of our country. Our country is built on the sacrifice of so many people, a lot of people that we don't necessarily think of. As I love the story of Glory. Next one again, kind of taking back and forth a little bit. Just because in my mind, you can't, and when you're in our age bracket, growing up, watching the cartoons we watch, really because it's a nerd positive podcast. For me, the story of America, especially when we talk about something to do with the military, began and ended with one cartoon, and that was G.I. Joe. So I got to give it up to G.I. Joe, the movie. And I can still do something to it. Cobra. La, 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 la. Oh, man. Okay. So, all right, Brad, quick question for you. Serpentor or Cobra Commander? Who's
Commander.
Thank you.
Cobra
sir.
Commander, man.
Okay. Baroness. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I'm following up with the Energon universe, the new Image Comics.
Sure.
And they did a 5-issue Cobra Commander book with Joshua Williamson helming it. Joshua Williamson is doing great things. He's like the DC guy right now.
Gotcha.
It's awesome. It's so good. I have them. When I see you next time, I'll let you borrow them.
Boom.
I'll let them and Duke. It's fantastic, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, last question: Baroness or Scarlet?
Baroness.
100%.
Yes. Man, I got to think for brunettes and with glasses.
I got to say glasses or no glasses. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right. So the last two honorable mentions, they'll get to my top 5. We talk about Sami Zayn, the underdog from the underground. He has on his jacket Khadija, which is his wife's name. We did it. Rocky, Adrian, we did it. But not Rocky 2, by the way. And this, for those of you that don't know, in Rocky he loses. Okay, most people think, oh, Rocky he wins. No, he doesn't win to Rocky 2. Love Rocky won the Academy Award that year. Apollo Creed, R.I.P. to Carl Weathers, the Flavor Saver. So yeah, so we're gonna go that, and then my last one. It was close. I almost added Predator, get into the chopper. But I go, if I'm thinking about a Schwarzenegger movie for someone that's not an American, he's natural born American, if there's one movie he does that really says America to me, it's True Lies.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna go Commando.
Close again. But I gotta go True Lies just because Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oof, man.
And a very young Eliza Dushku.
Hmm.
Before she goes all Vampire Slayer and Dollhouse, yes, she's in that. Okay, and Tia Carrera. I forgot about that. Yeah, she plays the villain.
Huh.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch. I
Yes.
haven't watched the show yet either, so I need to do that too.
The show tried. The show, honestly, goodness, tried.
Okay.
But that's all we got. All right. So here's my top 5. Okay. So I got to go RP to Chadwick Boseman. Love his work. He starred in 3 fantastic biopics. Get on up to James Brown story. Thurgood Marshall. But my personal favorite of his when he plays Jackie Robinson. So 42, the story of Jackie Robinson, broke down the racial wall in Major League Baseball. The only number that is retired by every Major League Baseball club.
Yeah.
Next up, I already talked about Apollo 13, Hidden Figures. Just love that movie so much. Number 3 of a movie that if it's on, I have to stop and watch it for one particular scene. It stars Cuba Gooding Jr. and Robert De Niro. Again, for all veterans, thank you for your service. But if you know the movie I'm talking about, it is Men of Honor. That courtroom scene, Brad, have you seen Men of Honor?
Oh yeah.
That scene where he has to do the steps in the suit, and you hear De Niro just talking him through it. I mean, it to me it's between that and another, and I did make my list with A Few Good Men. It's between De Niro and Counting with Cuba, and that scene with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. You want the truth? You want to answer? I want the truth. You can handle the truth. Those moments just give me goosebumps. So I got to give it up to Men of Honor. Absolutely love Men of
Great
Honor.
movie.
And then going from one side of the military and the Navy to another movie about the Navy, not the Air Force, though some people think it is. Bradley, if there's one movie that made me want to ride a motorcycle without a helmet, if there's one movie that made me want to sing Unchained Melody to Meg Ryan, if there's one movie that made me want to oil up my chest, because again, I am the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples, go out and play beach volleyball, and one movie, and only one, that goes, Talk to Me, Goose. My
I
number
feel the
2,
need.
almost number 1, because the other need,
The
a
need,
need
for
for
speed.
speed. Top Gun, sir.
Nice.
Top Gun. And then my number 1, and it had to be number 1 because we're talking about America and Independence Day, which is on July 4th. I had to give it to the movie that showed that even when you are extraterrestrials, Will Smith will teach you to keep Jada Pinkett Smith's name out of your mouth. ID4. And also the best with the show that you should not make a sequel. The Independence Day with Will Smith. And remember, he could have been at a barbecue. Yes, sir. That is my top. That is my
Could be
top.
and Jeff Goldblum is in it.
Yes.
Enough said.
Yes. Jeff Goldblum, Brent Spiner,
Yes.
Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah. Bill
Yeah.
Pullman.
Bull Pullman. I mean, just
Yeah.
all that cast.
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid, Robert Belogia. I mean, just on and on again. Adam Baldwin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just it's fantastic. But yeah. By the way, talk about a bromance. I mean, they really get a chance to do other things together, but Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum, that last third of the movie was. I'm probably might watch that tonight. When all their stuff was just fantastic. But that is my Merica movie, sir.
All right. So how many do you want to take a guess on how many we have right or that we doubled up on?
I'm gonna go 7.
6.
Almost. Okay.
6.
All right.
6 movies. I have 15 too. I got a top 5. The other between 6 to 6 to 15. Not really ranking. I'm just listing them. All right.
Same.
All right. So I'm gonna start mine off with the space movie of space movies as well, Apollo 13.
Boom.
After that, I'm gonna go Hacksaw Ridge.
Such a good movie.
Man, Andrew Garfield. I dare you to watch that movie and not get any ocular perspiration. You can't do it.
Bro.
It's Andrew Garfield is great as Spider-Man, but this I will put him in this movie before I put him in Amazing Spider-Man.
And it's good to know that the Red Skull could sire Spider-Man. It was really good to know that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All right. And number 13, one of the first ones that we were on the same page on.
Yeah.
Hidden Figures, man. Hidden Figures is such a great movie.
Fantastic.
I mean, Kevin Costner, Octavia Spencer. There was some Oscars in that, right?
There were. I think the film won some things for like costuming, not for the acting, I wish it would have, but it is fantastic. Movie. It's a fantastic movie. It like he captures so many of those fantastic. I mean, Taraji P. Henson, Octavia Spencer, Janelle Monáe. By the way, I love her. She is such a good actress. She to me makes the Glass Onion movie as well. Kirsten Dunst. Got to give it up to our boy Jim Parsons and of course Mahershala Ali, or I like to call him Blade.
Maybe.
Yeah. And did you notice who played Alan Glenn in that movie? It just hit me when I was thinking through.
That's Chadwick Boseman, isn't it?
No, Glenn Powell played Alan Glenn.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll double check. I pretty much watch it every year.
No facial hair, so he takes a minute. But I was just checking the credits, and Glenn Powell plays Adam Glenn before he, goes and picks on Goose's son. All right, what else you got, my friend?
All right, after that, a movie that was filmed right here in Iowa.
Don't do it.
If you build it, they will
come.
Do it.
Yes,
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams. Yes.
I had to get a baseball movie in there.
Fair.
And you know what? When you said 42, I probably would have put 42 in there. Now, next up is the next one that we have the same Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Dude, I mean, you can't. That is America. That is America.
That is everything that is wonderful and horrible about America right there. The minute he said that they named their kids Walker and Texas Ranger, I was done.
Yeah.
I was done. Come on, Shake and Bake, Cal Naughton Jr. Because coming from the South, that dude has to be a junior. All right.
Oh man. And then next I have a movie that was kind of a drama, but also a comedy, and had Robin Williams in it, where he played someone who was elected president of the United States, called Man of the Year.
Yes.
Such a great movie. And the whole premise was pretty much he was elected under a fallacy.
Yep.
And once that happened, it was like, what happened afterwards?
Right.
I don't know if you follow politics, but whatever. He did. It's just a great movie. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
It's a very good movie.
I could make an America list without Independence Day.
Boom.
But you got to have Independence Day
Boom.
on this list. It has to be. And then I also had to have Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Fair.
I was thinking about, I started off like, should I put First Avenger in there? But Winter Soldier means more to me than the First Avenger.
Yes, absolutely.
Winter Soldier with the Russians, and it's a deeper. I almost went to Civil War.
Right. I can see that. Yeah.
But you know what, man? Like, I like the spy.
Civil War is really Avengers 3, is what it is. It's
Pretty
really
much.
Avengers 3. Yeah.
After that, Lincoln, Daniel Day-Lewis. Man, that's another one of those movies. I dare you to watch it without any ocular perspiration.
Fact. You know, I came this close to putting Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know why I like. It's horrible. It's a horrible movie, but it makes me laugh.
So is Vanessa Wild or Van Wild, or not Van Wilder, Van Helsing.
Yes.
And Wyatt, not Wyatt Earp, but Winona Earp. I mean, those shows are so bad, but they're so good.
Yes. Man. Yes, absolutely.
And then to end up my honorable mentions, Lone Survivor.
I've never seen Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor. I was going to put The Covenant on here at that spot, but then I'm like, I was thinking I liked Lone Survivor a little more, but Lone Survivor, man, it's such a good movie. Mark Wahlberg.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Check it out. It's fantastic.
Okay. I almost put American Sniper on here. American Sniper is really good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. On my
now
top
that
5.
one did get me ocular perspiration.
Even
knowing how it was going to end, still it was just so well acted that it almost got me. Okay.
My number 5. This movie has Heath Ledger in it. It has Mel Gibson in it. The Patriot.
Yes.
Dude, that movie is so good.
Yes.
I was debating whether to put The Patriot or The Postman in it.
Okay.
And The Postman, because you had Tom Petty in there, man.
R.I.P.
But The Patriot or The Postman was good.
Yeah.
But man, The Patriot is so good.
And if you think about the irony of a movie called The Patriot, where the 2 lead actors, neither one of them are American.
Yeah. Yep.
Tells us a little bit about our stories, right? Okay.
Exactly.
Patriot, excellent.
Number 4 is a movie that reminded me about where America comes from.
Okay.
And it comes from the Native Americans. So I put Last of the Mohegans on here.
Ooh, good choice.
I love that movie. I was going back to
that. I Will Find You. Yep. But yes.
I was debating between that and Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ultimately, man, I had to go with Last of the Mohegans just because I think it means more.
It does. And again, that proves just the incredible actor Daniel Day-Lewis is. I mean, seriously, Daniel Day-Lewis is just, he's in rarefied air as an actor. Last of the Mohegans fantastic, as is Lincoln. All right, my friend.
The last 3 we have in common.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and my number 3 spot, I have the Need for Speed, Top Gun, and Top Gun Maverick. I put them together.
Boom, fair, totally fair.
Number 2, I put Glory, because you cannot think about where America comes from and not be emotional with the story of Glory.
Absolutely.
It's one of the best Civil War movies.
Absolutely.
That's ever been made, or probably ever will be made. I was thinking, like, would I want to see that movie remade with today's things?
Sure.
I think they could do it if it was like a Max or something like that. Or like make it a big epic, like a 9-hour thing, TV show. Because I think there's some great talent that could do it now.
Right. But that's a lot. You're following Denzel, Andre Brower, Morgan Freeman, and then you bring in like Matthew Broderick and Carrie Lewis. All those things. And remember, Matthew Broderick was really known for Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
And he carried a heavy, and that one scene, and Denzel Washington again, deservedly so. that scene where the whipping scene,
Yeah.
where he just defiantly takes off his shirt and looks at Broderick the entire time, and you would just see that one. First of all, the coolest tear ever. Like, that shows you when you are cool, when you cry cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I've never done anything in life as cool as Denzel Washington crying. Okay, and watching that movie in the theater and hearing the women lose their mind, I'm like, yeah, I've never done anything as cool as him crying that one tear. And the deeper meaning of the actual, of the movie, Red Tails got close for me as well. But absolutely well done. And you're right, and I would love if they redid it, maybe make it to, like, if they do it on Mass, like making that to a series. I mean, they can make it a limit, similar like they did with some of the others, like John Adams. I make it a limited, like 6 to 8 episodes. But I think you could really do that. But you're right, Glory, fantastic movie.
And I lied. We do not have my number. You didn't have my number one on here. My number one is a movie that I watched and made up my mind to go in the military.
Okay.
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, so good.
I love that movie so much.
There's with an Iowa connection there. Okay.
Yep, absolutely. So there is my list of my Merica movies. We did good. We had
6 in common. I think that's one of our higher ones. That's one of our higher ones.
Yes.
Nice one. Well done, my friend.
Awesome.
So Bradley, would you like to play a game?
Oh, I want to play a game. Let's do it.
All right. So I will go first. So this is our game that I love to play with Brad, which is same plot, new characters, which is where I give the plot of a movie and I use the same actors, but I reference characters that they played in other movies. So this one, I will tell you, I almost made my Merica list.
Okay.
And I'll also give you this one. It is a comedy. So I'm going to describe it and see, and feel free to ask as many questions as you like. Because I think this one might be tricky. But I'm going to see if you can figure out what this week's same plot, new character movie is. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Emperor Cusco, sporting the sweetest haircut ever, is searching for his non-llama family. Inspired by the music of Bob Seger, he puts on a night move and encounters a gangster who insists on more cowbell. Cusco meets a fireworks salesman who eventually becomes an SVU detective and even spends time with the inspiration for Toto's biggest hit. He almost gets shot by Angelina's daddy and becomes a radio star during the Weekend Update. The story has a happy ending where he gets his girl, his dog, and even dreadlocks.
Wow. Well, all right, read it again.
Emperor Cusco, sporting the sweetest haircut ever, I would also say the most Merica haircut ever, is searching for his non-llama family. Inspired by the music of Bob Seger, he puts on a night move and encounters a gangster who insists on more cowbell. Cusco meets a fireworks salesman who eventually becomes an SVU detective and even spends time with the inspiration of Toto's biggest hit. He almost gets shot by Angelina's daddy and becomes a radio star during the Weekend Update. The story has a happy ending where he gets his girl, his dog, and even dreadlocks.
All right. I think I know, but you said Weekly Update with Dennis Miller.
I didn't say with whom,
Okay.
but I did say Weekend Update.
Okay, Weekend. You're talking about Joe Dirt. It was the week, man. So it was the weekend update that got that I figured it out with.
I thought for sure you would not get this one. So for the audience, let's unpack this real quick. So Emperor Cusco from The Emperor's New Groove is voiced by David Spade. So the movie stars David Spade. The sweetest haircut ever. If you've ever seen Joe Dirt, he has a mullet, which again is probably the most Merica haircut ever. He lived for his non-llama family. He's inspired by the music of Bob Seger. Seger is a prominent part of the soundtrack of the movie. And
Gotta
the
keep on
gangster who is,
keeping.
yep, and the gangster who insists on more cowbell is the one and only Christopher Walken. In the famous SNL skit, Cusco meets a fireworks salesman. I don't know if you caught this. So the gentleman who plays Kicking Wing in Joe Dirt is Adam Beach, and Adam Beach was on Special Victims Unit as a detective for about one season. Was on the show very long, but it was on SVU. And spends time with the instrument of Toto's biggest hit. So Toto's biggest hit is a song called Rosanna, which is inspired by Rosanna Arquette. She was dating the lead singer of Toto when the song came out. Rosanna Arquette is also in the movie with an uncredited role. She is in the movie. He almost gets shot by Angelina's daddy, or many of us know him as John Voight, and becomes a radio star, as you said during the weekend update. The majority of the movie is him telling his story on a radio show that is hosted by Dennis Miller, Xander Cade, I believe. At the end of the movie, Joe Dirt gets his girl, played by with Brittany Daniels, who was known for dating Keenan Ivory Williams for many years. His dog, and then because of a head injury, he loses the mullet, but actually gets dreadlocks. So nice job, sir, with that one. I did not think you would get Joe Dirt, sir. And again, it is a very Merica movie. All right, my friend.
Definitely. Okay, so we'll play a game for you, and then we got your honest ad yet too.
Let's do it, my friend. Let's hit it.
All right, so I have a constellation for you to figure out.
Okay.
And both of my actors that I want you to connect were in the movies from my list.
Okay.
All right. So I want you to connect Tom Hanks.
Okay.
So he's got a big filmography.
Huge. All right.
To another person with a huge filmography. So I know it can be done for you. Daniel Day-Lewis. I can do it in 3.
Tom Hanks.
It sounds a lot easier than this one is.
Tom Hanks and Daniel Day-Lewis. And you said you did it in 3.
I can do it in 3. It took me a while, so we're going to test you. I was going to do Christopher Reeve to Daniel Day-Lewis, and that was 5. But I'm not. Then I swapped it around to Tom Hanks and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay, let me think about this. Okay. I got to think for a moment. I know Tom Hanks movies way better than I do Daniel Day-Lewis. But if you said you can do it in 3, then let me see if I can figure this one out. My head goes to Lincoln. I'm trying to think of anyone.
It's got a good cast. Lincoln has a great cast.
It does. So that's what I'm thinking. Like maybe that. There will be blood. Maybe. I'm thinking out loud here because I'm thinking like there's gotta be.
Yeah.
That's for doing it in 3. Because the biggest difference between the two of them is Daniel Day-Lewis is known for doing very artistic movies. Tom Hanks is known for doing a lot of blockbusters. So that's the thing. Okay, so let me think here. Okay, hang on. I think I might have it. Okay, we've got.
So where's your head going?
I'm totally going Gangs of New York.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm thinking either Cameron Diaz or John C. Riley, just because. Okay, I was trying to think, is there anything that gets me? I was thinking, can I go from Hanks to an actor to Leo to Daniel Day Lewis? So I'm really trying to think of, is there an actor or actress that's been in a movie with Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio? That's where my head's at. So that's what I'm scanning right now. Trying to think of anything that. Oh, there it is. Tom Hanks to Leonardo DiCaprio and Catch Me If You Can. Leonardo DiCaprio to Daniel Day Lewis in Gangs of New York.
So you did it in 2.
I did it in 2.
You beat me because I was. Here's what I did.
Okay.
I went Daniel Day Lewis stars with Leonardo DiCaprio in Gangs of New York.
Mm-hmm.
Leo stars with Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Inception.
Lipton, yeah.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt is the voice of Jiminy Cricket in Pinocchio.
Yo, yeah.
But you beat me. Good job. You made it there.
By the way, the only thing that helped was the poster for Catch Me If You Can is so that I don't know why I love that poster. Is Leo running and trying to catch it with Tom Hanks? So that's the only reason why that actually stuck in my head. But good one. That one make I feel a little heat up here, a little smoke there. All right. So hey, I beat yours and you beat mine. I think that proves our nerd positivity, sir.
All right, man.
Are you ready for that honest ad?
Bring it.
Let's do it, sir. So this week's honest ad is inspired by what we've been trying to play honor to this show, which is the 4th of July. So here's the honest ad for July 4th. And I'm going to do it in my best Merica voice. Kick the tires and light the fires. Plug your ears, but don't shed any tears. Drink some Natty Light and prepare for a fight. I cannot tell a lie. It is the 4th of July. We celebrate freedoms large and small. Where freedom isn't free, it should be for all. It is the 4th of July. We celebrate freedoms large and small. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to start over. I lost my place. Okay. Kick the tires and light the fires. Plug your ears, but don't shed any tears. Drink some Natty Light and prepare for a fight. I cannot tell a lie. It is the 4th of July. We celebrate freedoms large and small. While freedom isn't free, it should be for all. America's birthday, we come to celebrate. Remember our similarities and not our hate. Some of us vote red while some vote blue. No party owns this country, and that remains true. After barbecue, fireworks, and all the drinks, find common ground is more important than you think. We're a country of natives, immigrants, and slaves. Each day we try to mend the harm of the past in new ways. Despite pettiness, judgment, and harmful words, the most American you can be is a positive nerd.
Oh, you know what? I'm even wearing Captain America today.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
Well done, Brian. Brian, who's your human of the week?
I got to give again, with this being July 4th. And again, I know we're recording on July 7th. I hope everyone has a happy, safe, relaxing holiday. Hopefully, all the digits that you started the holiday with, you still have, given all the fireworks that have been going off. But I got to give it to this. So my better than us human of the week is going to be plural humans. And pardon me, I just want to again give honor and deference to the indigenous people of this nation for thank you so much for the country we call the United States of America. What about you, partner?
Well said. I'm giving it to the military members, man.
Boom.
Brothers and sisters in
Yes, sir.
blue, green, whatever you're wearing. Yeah, yep. You're nerd positive too.
Your sacrifice is appreciated. Absolutely, my friend.
All
right,
right.
brother. Let's close it up.
All right. Where can we find you?
As always, you can find me on the Book of Faces at Brian Stephen Dennis. Give me a like, give me a follow, give me a friend request. I try to keep things light and occasionally weird. What about you, tag team partner?
You can find me, friend me, or follow me at Facebook at Nerd Positive, TikTok at Nerd Positive 1, and Instagram at The Fandemic 1. If you feel there's more of a conversation, feel free to reach out and let's talk. Who knows? Maybe you'll come on and hang out with myself and Brian on the next
Yes, sir.
episode of Nerd Positive.
Love it.
All right, man. Dude, let's go ahead and we'll have some support. You know what? Go to buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/nerdpositive, Patreon, patreon.com/nerdpositive, PayPal or Venmo. I'm not going to say no at Bradley B10. Most importantly, just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. All right, man. We have hit the max levels of awesome for this evening. How do we end the show?
As always, thank you for joining us for the best part of Bradley and Mine's week. And we do appreciate all of you for getting that test and find out you are indeed nerd positive. So as we end this week, please remember to never stay dry, never surrender, and no retreat, no surrender. I'm going to get my tagline right here. So please remember, as we do every week, no retreat, no surrender. And remember, please, the Goonies never say die.
If you think about it every time you feel stupid, you just got a little bit smarter. Squirrels' cheeks are their nut sacks. And there's 2 reasons to not to drink water out of the toilet. Those are number 1 and number 2. Have a good day.
Bye-bye, folks.